Hello, welcome back. We're here for our second session, but we're tackling the first of the 6 personal perspectives, self-mastery. My name's Brett Caldwell. I'm here with my friend, Natasha Tello. Natasha, how are you? And tell me what you think about when you think about self-mastery.
I'm fantastic, Brett. Excited to kind of dive into this. So self-mastery, it's really all about becoming the master of you, right? Becoming, gaining knowledge, skills, habits, all the things that make you a great you.
Yeah. We talked about it last week, and I think it is probably going to be a common theme throughout this whole series, but you're really got to make a decision if you want to live a big life. And if you want to live a big life, this is the secret sauce. This is the way the people that live big lives think. And understanding what self-mastery is such a timeless principle around how to live a big life. And you're right, Natasha. I mean, it's very different than just mastery. We talked before about, like, everybody likes to set those New Year's resolutions, and I even know people that make vision boards around it and go do exercises to move towards trying to figure out how to
Are you making fun of my vision boards?
No, not at all. Not yet. However, we all kind of poke fun at it, yet it's happened to all of us. It falls short, right?
It does.
And the reason it falls short is we never figured out how to really make it fit us in a better way. There's no better way to say that. Like, it's got to fit who we are in order to figure out how to make something manifest into our life. I'll give you a quick example. At one point in my life, I decided I wanted to learn to play the guitar, right? And I had all the visualizations of Brett sitting around the campfire playing the guitar, singing songs, and yet I bought a book. I think back then it was a CD or DVD or something, and it just never happened. But it was on my goal sheet every year, Natasha. Well, what I realized is I never figured out how to make it fit me. So I went and hired a guitar instructor, and they would come to my house every week, and I found myself getting better. But I would rush home after work on Wednesday just to get there enough to practice before the guy got there, so he would be proud of me for improving from the previous week. And I realized again that that wasn't a great model. So I actually had to time block my schedule to practice so I would get better and not just have the guitar teacher come teach me some things, but I actually improved upon the process. Jokingly, don't hire me for your next event, but I did improve because I learned how to make it fit me. I think about this in terms of real estate, Natasha. Maybe you can tackle this. Like, if we're a real estate professional, 9 times out of 10, this conversation is around lead generation. How does one make it fit them?
Well, I think the first thing we have to kind of roll back a little bit, Brett, is that we, on our road to mastery, we're looking at that as an event. And the truth is, it's a journey. This is
right?
It's a process. It's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time to get there. And we're going to have incremental, achieve incremental greatnesses one piece at a time. It doesn't all happen at once. From the outside, it appears like we did it all at once, but it's a journey. And so I think if we're looking at real estate and we're looking at what's the one thing that's going to make the difference, it's time blocking, right? Because without mastering our time, there's a reason why we all have the same 24 hours in a day. But why is it some people can achieve so much more in those 24 hours than others?
Yeah. And why is this most people's largest struggle in life?
I think especially in our industry, people come here for the flexibility and the freedom in our industry. It's also the number one reason people fail out of our industry.
I think somebody really smart one time told me, they said, we put emotional value around our time. And the question is, how do we calibrate that emotional value that we want to put towards our time? Meaning, are we prioritizing the right things inside of our time instead of the wrong things? Or maybe the things that bring us more instant gratification, but not long-term gratification.
Yeah, I think, if you think about it, like what are we being intentional about? because that's the whole thing. When it comes to time and time blocking and managing our time, it's that intentionality. And it's not realistic to be intentional 24 hours of the day. I mean, hopefully you're getting between 6 and 8 hours of sleep. So that leaves you the balance of the 16 to 18 hours. But let's see, what are we being intentional about for 3 to 4 hours of our day that we're moving our needle forward in our personal lives and our business?
Right. And, you said 3 hours. So obviously in most of our training classes, we talk about spending 3 hours a day in lead generation, yet most agents get hung up on that. Why?
Well, I think because they hear the word lead gen, and it's funny because when I teach this, when I say the word lead gen, what do you hear? And most of the time my students will say, I'm hearing phone cold calling, I'm hearing phone prospecting. It's not what we're saying. We're saying lead generate. And so when you think about working on self-mastery, are you working in your strength zones? Are you doing the things to lead generate that are natural gifts for you? Because every one of our gifts and talents are different. Some people are going to lead generate through the phone. Some are going to door knock. Some are going to network. Some are going to do it through social channels and social media. Do what your strength is, but my gosh, just do it.
Just do it, right? All right. So we got 2 questions for people to discuss in the room today. But before we get there, hear from our special guest.
Hey gang, this is Emric Peace coming at you. And our conversation today is about self-mastery, the first step to the 6 personal perspectives. In that place of self-mastery, what I've come to understand, that self-mastery is an ever-evolving event. It just never ends. It never ends because guess what? As long as you keep living, life is evolving, you are evolving, situations are evolving, and we just have to figure out how to plug in and how to get better. And so when we start talking about the self-mastery, there are 5 essential pillars to self-mastery. The first one is mindset of success. The second one is emotional intelligence. The third is communication for connection. The fourth is power over limiting beliefs. And the fifth is resilience. When we start talking about those 5 pillars, just wrap your brain around that. It's always going. The emotion is always there about how you're going to get better. What's your mindset? How resilient are you? How do you connect with others? It's always moving. It's always evolving because life is evolving. But here's the deal. What I really understand about self-mastery is this. When I was 25, I thought I was really smart. When I was 35, I thought I was even smarter. By the time I got 45, I realized that I really just wasn't that smart. I just wasn't that smart because I thought I knew everything. Now that I'm 58, I'm a little better. But guess what? I still have work to do. At the end of the day, it's really about evolution, evolving, the never-ending cycle of being better. Now, here's what I want all of us to understand. All of us have a distorted perception of reality, particularly when it comes to self-mastery. And our distorted perception of reality is this. Either we're better than we thought we were, or we're not as good as we thought we are. And we believe that, in a lot of times in ourselves, that we're in a special place. The truth is, the world looks at us totally different. What really matters is what we feel about ourselves. Where are we in our self-mastery journey? And the truth be told, in that self-mastery journey, guess what? Your mindset is ever evolving because the world is changing. Emotional intelligence, these new generations, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, you got to talk to these folks differently. So that's ever evolving. Communication for connection. Again, when people change, we have to talk differently and we have to relate to them different. The power of overcoming limiting beliefs. Oh my gracious, they never end. We always think differently about ourselves than we really should. And then resilience. All of these things wrapped into one means that we have to be ever evolving and changing, and we have to be resilient and just consistently bounce back. Self-mastery. Commit to self-mastery. The first step to the 6 personal perspective. Let's do it. Let's go. This is Emric signing out.
All right. So Natasha, that was pretty amazing. Let's jump into our 2 discussion topics. So why don't you hit us with number 1?
All right. First question is, what is the one thing or the singular thing in your life that you need to gain self-mastery over? That once you have done that, everything else will be easier or unnecessary.
I might have heard that question somewhere,
maybe just once,
some book before, but that's probably true. Is to live a big life, it's probably one thing that's in our way. And we just got to figure out how to move that needle on that one thing, right? And everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. Okay, second discussion topic is about blind spots. The question is, what blind spots are showing up in your life? And you probably don't know they're there because they're blind. And the real question is, who needs to be in your life to help you recognize those so you can move to self-mastery? Is there a peer partner you need? Is there a coach? Is there a mentor? Is there somebody you need to engage into a relationship to help you recognize your blind spots so you can go live that big life?
Awesome.
Natasha, see you next week.
Bye, everyone.